Hey, Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ bless you. Got Captain Enoch here. I got Officer Ephraim reading for me, and this is another 15-minute with the captains, right? So the title of today's 15 minutes lesson is War Dogs, right? And we're going to start by putting the book on the screen, War Dogs. Now, put it back on me. Put it back on me. This is inspired also by Deacon Yahshua's class this past Sabbath, talking about Northern Kingdom and the curses, how it affects them. This book is going to show you how, when we say the atrocities that our people went through, man, it's insane. It wasn't just Judah. Northern Kingdom got it too. Put the book back on the screen. It's Dogs of the Conquest by John Greer Varner and Jeanette Johnson Varner. All right? We're going to open up with Leviticus 26. Start at verse 13. So I got two readers. I got Ephraim reading for, the book information, and I got Soldier Isaiah who will be reading the scriptures. We're going to try to get through this quickly. Leviticus 26, and start at verse 13.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 26.
Put a little power in your voice, man. Come on now.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 26 and verse 13.
Read.
I am the Lord your God, which brought you forth out of the land of Egypt, that ye should not be their bondmen.
You see that? The Lord brought us out of Egypt. Read.
And I have broken the bands of your yoke and made you go upright.
Meaning what? He got us out of captivity. Read.
But if you will not hearken unto me and will not do all these commandments.
This says the same thing in Deuteronomy 28. Read.
And if you shall despise my statutes, or if your soul abhor my judgments, so that ye will not do all my commandments, but that ye break my covenant.
We understand that all Israel broke the covenant, right? We didn't keep the commandments. Read.
I also will do this unto you. I will even appoint over you terror.
God says, I am going to appoint over you terror. Read.
Consumption. And the burning egg that shall consume the eyes and cause sorrow of heart.
It'll be nothing but death and destruction. Read.
And ye shall sow your seed in vain, for your enemies shall eat it.
We won't have anything. Read.
And I will set my face against you, and ye shall be slain before your enemies.
That's what happened. Read.
That they that hate you shall reign over you.
Read that part again.
They that hate you shall reign over you.
God says you're going to be slain before your enemies, and those that hate you shall reign over you. Read.
And ye shall flee when none pursueth you.
Think about that. If the people who hate you reign over you, they're going to do any and every imaginable terroristic act towards you because they don't like you. Watch this. Get the part one, picture one. Not this. All right, right? This is from the preface of the book. I want you to start with, it has been the top paragraph. Yep.
It has been claimed that the repute cruelty of the Spanish conquest is exaggeration of a zealous friar, Bartolome de las Casas, and indeed, hyperbole does not characterize. Hyperbole does not characterize most early.
Does characterize.
Excuse me. Hyperbole does characterize most early account of the New World.
So Bartholomew, how you say his name again?
Bartolome de las Casas.
Yes, he documented everything, right?
Modern scholars have concluded that the Spaniards who came to impose their civilization on the Americans were men whose traditions and heritage of cruelty had been given new impetus by quickly changing historical circumstance.
Read.
Conquest inevitably involved evil.
Their conquest inevitably involved evil.
In that of the Indies, brutality expanded, sometimes into grotesque fiendishness.
Grotesque fiendishness. Read.
And contributing to certain of the most awesome aspect was the European dog.
So what was added to that, you can put the screen back on me. What was added to that says was the European dog was added, right? So it says the most grotesque things that they did to our people. So you got to understand something. When they came against Northern Kingdom, remember they went to Jamaica, they went to Cuba, they went to Puerto Rico, they went to all of those places. And again, this is going to have to be an actual full class, but I just wanted to touch on the topic today. This book is insane, y'all. They did some insane things. We're going to go into some of it now. All right, read that bottom paragraph. We got to read it.
It has been our intention to perpetuate the so-called black legend of Spaniard horror, but rather to relate the incidents in which dogs played a significant part in the conquest, as recorded by the 16th century chronicles, several of whom were eyewitnesses to the event.
You see that? Eyewitnesses to crazy incidents. Read.
And as revealed in legal, military, and literally historical documents of the period. These, at times, desperate accounts were written not by alien or hostile critics, but by Spain's own venerant historians.
They own people documented this. So it's not from he's telling you it's not from the victim's perspective. It's from the actual the attacker. They're the perpetrators. It's from their perspective. Read. It should be noted, moreover, that during this period, the use of dogs in warfare was not unique to Spain, but was prevalent throughout the world, particularly in Western Europe. Well, why didn't we hear about that? We never really heard about that, right? The dogs being used and how they were used to terrorize Northern Kingdom. Read.
That man best friend functioned in the conquest as a lethal weapon of war has surprised, even shocked many.
Shocked many.
But this was one of the use to which, over the centuries, European bred and cultivated dogs.
These demons bred and cultivated these dogs to destroy our people. Watch this. Go to the picture of the dogs. Look at that. These were war dogs. They put armor on the dogs and bred them up to destroy our people. 6th century armored dogs. That's what they were doing. Give me Genesis 27, verse 38. Because this is Esau. Y'all got to understand, this is Esau. They were given war. That's their gift, is war. So they used every imaginable thing that they had at their disposal to come against our people. Genesis 27, verse 38.
The book of Genesis, chapter 27 and verse 38. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father?
Because remember, the blessing went to Jacob. So Esau now crying to his father, even though he didn't want his blessing. Read.
Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth.
So thy dwelling will be the fatness of the earth. Read. So that's the best parts of the planet. Read.
And of the dew of heaven up from above.
Read.
And by thy sword shalt thou live.
So by their war, military tactics, all that, they're people of war. Says, by thy sword shall thou live. That means they taking everything. So starting in the 1400s, they took everything, right? Okay, drop that. You can stop that. Go to the next slide right there. See under Donna Beatrice, Pedro de Vera. Third line, Pedro, right there. Read that.
Make it big. On her appeal, Pedro de Vera, whose very name was sufficient to scatter the rebels, again came to her rescue. He had every male more than 15 years old of age killed, and the women and the children sold into slavery.
Had the women and the children sold to slavery. Now jump down to where it says among other abominations. Right there. Right there. Yep.
Among other abominations, the dog devoured the bodies of the Moorish children.
The dogs did what?
Devoured the bodies of the Moorish children.
Moorish is black. Devoured the bodies of the black children.
That sometimes were left dead or dying on the church steps.
Left dead or the dogs were devouring the bodies. And then it says that's when we went to the use of the dogs, right? Look at Deuteronomy 28, verse 26 real quick. Now, keep in mind, Deuteronomy 28 and 26 is going in. Remember, it happened during the time of Babylon when they all the curses are a ring. So it happened during the time of Babylon. It happened during 70 AD. And guess what? It happened in the 1400s as well. Read that. Deuteronomy 28 and 26.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 26.
Read.
Bring it out.
And thy carcass shall be meat unto all fowls of the air,
Fowls of the air, read.
and unto the beast of the earth.
You see that? Our carcass was being eaten by these animals. Now, again, it's. I don't want you to think that I'm saying it only happened in that time frame. It happened multiple times. It has happened multiple times. 70 AD, during Babylon, all those times it happened. Look at Psalm 79, verses 1 and 2. Get that? Because, again, these curses didn't just happen. We always think that it's just Southern Kingdom. These same things happen to Northern Kingdom. Read that.
The book of Psalms, chapter 79 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
O God, the heathen are come into thine inheritance.
Read.
Thy holy temple have they defiled. They have laid Jerusalem on heaps.
Right, so that's proof of the 70 AD and Babylon, right? But watch the other part. Read.
The dead bodies of thy servants have they given to be meat.
You see that? The same thing. Again, look, 2 Ezra 5:42. Watch this. Get 2 Ezra chapter 5, verse 42. I want y'all to stay with me. Remember, these things happen repeatedly. It didn't just happen one time. It didn't just happen one time. We know that it's talking about 70 AD, Babylon, but it happened to Northern Kingdom during the 1400s when Christopher Columbus and all them came against our people. When the conquistadors came, all these things, that book is insane. Read that.
The book of 2 Ezra, chapter 5 and verse 42.
Uh-huh.
Bring it out.
And he said unto me, I will liken my judgment unto a ring.
Meaning what? It would happen over and over and over and over again. It happened. Is that it on that verse?
Is more.
Read.
Like as there is no slackness of the last,
Uh-huh.
even so there is no swiftness of the first.
You see that? It's a ring, meaning it keeps happening over and over throughout history. You can see where those curses applied to our people, and including Northern Kingdom. Go back to the page 5.
The first incident recorded in which a dog served a military purpose in the Indies occurred in the island of Jamaica.
See that? Started in Jamaica. Read.
When Columbus approached the shores of that island on May 5th, 1494.
1494, when that first instance of a military dog used against our people. Read.
At a site that he later was to name Puerto Bueno,
Which is good port, right? Which means good port. Read.
he observed that the Indians were painted black or various colors and appeared to be hostile.
Yep, read.
Since the fleet needed wood and water, and because the admiral had concluded that the
Time.
time he had to make a display of Castilian arm, 3 of the ships drew near to the shore, and the soldiers fired their crossbow.
Uh-huh.
They then disembarked, slashed many Indians with swords, and continued to fire.
Uh-huh.
The Indians fled in a surprise terror. Pursued by a great dog, bit them and did them much harm.
They pursued by a great dog that bit them and caused much harm. Read.
For one dog against the Indians was worth 10 men.
Read that again.
For one dog against the Indians was worth 10 men.
Hey, IT, while we still reading, look up Mastiff dogs, Mastiff. Those are some of the dogs that they trained and used. It says, for one dog against the Indians was worth 10 men. Read.
Columbus then went ashore and took possession of the island in the name of the Spanish sovereignty. Sovereigns. This attack represented the first occasion on which dogs were used against the natives of the New World and predates their former use in pitched battle of the Veja Rio.
You see that? That was the first time in 1494 they introduced dogs. They took them. They came over there in 1492. Within 2 years, they're using dogs and destroying our people. Go put that on the screen. These dogs are massive. What they call them, cane corsos as well. These dogs are massive. They could be look, up to 100 pounds of a dog. They were trained as war dogs. We need some better images. They try to make them look all cool and nice. Nah, look how big that damn dog is. Look at that. Those are the dogs that they used against our people, y'all. They trained them to be used against us. Go back to page 11. Yep, Columbus succeeded.
Columbus succeeded in bringing other caciques under his yoke. Yet to justify his expedition at court and to dissipate the slaughter that he knew were being circulated against him, he felt he must find more gold. He therefore devised a system of tribute among the Indians, but they found it impossible to deliver the amount demanded.
So what happened was he found the chiefs, and he was like, he knew that what he was doing was wrong, and they were gonna over there back in Spain. They was telling, it's gonna pretty much put him under arrest. Pretty much is what he was saying. So what he was trying to do was just get more gold to try to appease them because he's doing heinous crimes. Watch this. Keep reading.
They consequently resorted to various means of evasion.
So we tried to get away. Read.
Some committed suicide. Many fled to the mountains, and a few courageously took revenge by slaying Christians.
Whoa. They took revenge by doing what?
Slaying Christians.
Wasn't that Christopher Columbus and all that?
That's right.
So they were, those. So when you talk about Christians and Christianity, that was destroying our people. Our people understood back then, no, we don't deal with them. Christianity is evil as hell. Evil as hell. They were destroying and slaughtering our people. They had to flee, went to the mountains. They running away, trying to get away from these demons, because as soon as they showed up, they were sicking dogs on them and killing them. We keep reading.
Spanish retaliation was speedy and severe. To retrieve fugitives, especially those in the mountains, fatnesses, dogs was found to be of great advantage.
Great advantage to use a dog to catch them. Read.
They could track down natives, distinguish their trail from those of Christians.
You see that? They knew the difference. They could smell. They knew that's not the damn Christianity demons. Let's go get these Israelites over here. Read.
And could uncover their hiding place in ambush.
Read.
Furthermore, these dogs could, in the end, slaughter their prey. Las Casas wrote that when the Indians saw themselves being destroyed by such inhumane means, trampled by horses, lashes, slashes by sword, burned alive, devoured by dogs.
And what?
Devoured by dogs. They simply agreed to submit to any fate so long as they could avoid eradication. We got to submit, because if not, we all going to die. They burning us alive. They killing us with the sword. They sicking dogs on us. They doing all this stuff. Watch this. Jump down. I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it because I got to read it. Go ahead. In March 1496, Columbus returned to Spain, leaving his brother, how you say that name? Bartholomew, to serve in the absence as... Adelanto.
Bartholomew, I don't know how to say the name. Instituted the construction of the series of forts, and friars grew more zealous in their conversation of the Indians. Indeed, they managed to apply the purging waters of baptism even to the caciques. How you say that? Guardianex. He is said to have mastered the Pater Noster, the Ave Maria, and the Credo. But when the wife of this new Christian was ravished by a Spaniard, generally identified as Francisco Roldan, the cacique promptly relapsed, forsook his Latin, destroyed whatever symbols of Catholicism he could lay his hands on, and eventually joined the supposed rapist in a revolt against the Adelanto. Thus, Bartholomew was forced to resort to another, what does that mean?
Monteria Inferno.
What that mean? Monteria Inferno? Okay. Trained dogs were unleashed, and it is reported as so the trained dogs ate Indians as if they were hogs. As if they were hogs. That means they were ravishing our people. Ravishing them. Go to page 13 now. I'm going to jump down. Sometimes non-combatant Indians, even children, were handed over simply as tasty morsels or to voracious hounds. I'm going to read that again. Sometimes non-combatant Indians, even children, were handed over simply as tasty morsels to voracious hounds. I want you to read Deuteronomy 28, because we always use it for Judah, when their kids being taken from them. Watch this, Deuteronomy 28, verse 32.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 32.
Bring it out.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
You see that? Their kids were being snatched from them and given to dogs as a morsel. That means a snack or a treat. That's how they treated our people. That's how they treated Northern Kingdom. Read.
And thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
Uh-huh.
And there shall be no might in thine hand.
Let's go back to the page. I'm going to jump down and I'll read it. I'm going to start at for example, right? Hold on. The dogs, I'm going to start at the top of the paragraph right there. The dogs left behind by Columbus had by now greatly increased in number and ferocity. Now I'm going to jump down. It says, for example, how on one occasion some Christians came across an Indian woman with a nursing child in her arms. Since their dog was hungry, they seized the child and tossed it to the dog, which tore it to pieces in the presence of the mother. In the presence of the mother. Keep that on the screen. In the presence of the mother. The priest described how the Christians use natives as beasts of burden, loading them with heavy packs and forcing them to march 60 or 70 leagues without food. The Christians brought along large mastiffs to discourage escape. To discourage escape. Imagine our sister with a baby in her arms. They come and take the baby and feed it to the dog in front of her. In front of her. They went through the curses. Give me Deuteronomy 28, read verse 49. Deuteronomy 28, verse 49, read.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 49.
Uh-huh.
The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far,
Read.
from the end of the earth.
The nation from far was the damn Spaniards going to our people. Read.
As swift as the eagle flyeth.
Their symbol was the eagle. They all had the symbol of the eagle. I'm talking about Esau. Read.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
We didn't understand their language. We weren't speaking Latin at the time. We wasn't speaking that stuff. We didn't do it. Read.
A nation of fierce continents.
Think about how fierce they had to be. They get off that boat. They killing you left and right, killing our people left and right, and they sicking dogs on you. That's insane. A mother had to watch her child die. Keep reading.
Which shall not regard the person of the old.
They didn't care about how old you were. If you was old,
nor show favor to the young.
They didn't care about babies, nothing. Take the baby out the woman's hand and just feed it to the dog. That's what they did. This isn't like some fairy tale. This actually happened. It's documented. Go back to that page 13. I'm going to read the top.
Laws of Burgos, proclaimed by the Spanish crown on December 27, 1512, forbade its use of referring to Indians. Would God La Casas commended, the Indians have been treated like dogs, for though the Spaniards did not hesitate to kill 10 or 20 Indians merely as a pastime.
So they're bored. They don't have nothing to do. It's a pastime. Read.
Either to test their skills with their knives or the cutting edge of their sword. They would not kill a dog for 1,000 castellanos.
They wouldn't kill they said they wouldn't kill a dog over. Read that part again.
They would not kill a dog for 1,000 castellanos.
That's how bad and that's how inhumane and lowly they saw our people. Remember, we read in Leviticus 26, they that hate you shall rule and reign over you. That's why these people were so evil, so damn evil. Go to look at, did we already read Leviticus 26 and 22? We did? Okay. Drop that, go to page 18.
The laborers in the mines, for instance, were treated abominably and often starved.
And often what?
Starved.
Starved. Read.
As food became scarce, they gathered with the dogs beneath their master's table, and like the dogs caught each bones thrown to them.
So stop. You talking about insane captivity. They using the dogs to eat us and kill us. They burning us alive. They hanging us. They doing all these things. And then at the same time, when we're hungry, we right next to the dog, hoping that they throw some food off the table for us to eat. And you say Northern Kingdom ain't Israel, you out of your damn mind. Read.
Gnawed it and sucked it clean.
Yes, that's what they, think about it. These people just destroyed you and killed you. Now these demons throwing a bone, and you got to suck the bone clean because you're so hungry. This is the same people that's killing you left and right. They throw a bone, they eat it, and then throw the rest of it. And then you just sit there and you find it on the ground. And these people are demons. I'm going to prove it. Did we finish this? No, we got to read it. Read.
If in despair they fled to the mountains, they were hunted down with dogs, scourged, and chained. Condition was so bad everywhere that both men and women became a wave of suicide.
Began a wave of suicide. We just got to die. Read.
Alarmed and incensed, the proud caciques of the province of Saracua resolved to retaliate. But Ovando crushed this new revolt with brutal finality.
With brutal, meaning what? They used every means necessary to get us in subjection. Give me 3 Holy Children, chapter 1, verse 6 through 9.
This is the song of the 3 holy children, verse 6.
Read.
For we have sinned and committed iniquity, departing from thee. In all things have we trespassed, and not obeyed thy commandments,
Read.
nor kept them. Neither done as thou hast commanded us,
Read.
that it might go well with us.
Read.
Wherefore, all that thou hast brought upon us, and everything that thou hast done to us, thou hast done in true judgment.
We didn't want to listen. God said these curses would happen to all of us, meaning northern and southern kingdom. And guess what? God is righteous in what he did because we didn't listen. Read.
And thou didst deliver us into the hands of lawless enemies.
Of lawless enemies. The way they treated northern kingdom and southern kingdom. Lawless enemies. Read.
Most hateful forsakers of God.
Hateful for they hate God. And they understood the people that they had. That's why they were doing all that terror. Read.
And to an unjust king.
Read.
And the most wicked in all the world.
There ain't who was more wicked than that, than what they've done? Who has done that to any other people? It's only been to our people. These people are the most wicked. Esau is the most wicked in all the world. We're reading about them. This is we're doing a lesson talking about them sicking dogs on us, tearing out our insides and eating babies. You hear about, and ironically, you hear about alligator bait. You hear about all that. Have you ever heard about mastiff bait? You never heard about the dog bait, right? You see what I'm saying? They don't talk about none of this. And Deacon was talking about that. They try to hide Northern Kingdom atrocities. They try to hide as much as they can. They went through the same things, man. Go to page 29. Read that.
Meanwhile, persistence rumored as an abundance of gold in Cuba aroused the interest of Ferdinand.
Yep.
With his sanction, Diego Columbus in 1511 appointed Diego Velázquez as formerly impoverished nobleman who had made a fortune in Hispaniola.
Why? Because he was destroying everybody. He was destroying our people. They got all kind of resources from there, killing everybody. Go ahead.
To explore and to settle the neighboring islands of Cuba, since the natives were there appeared to be docile.
So they appeared to be docile. Let's go over there and get them and take everything they got too. Read.
Velázquez anticipated little opposition to his invasion. Nevertheless, he cautiously supplied himself with various military devices, and he was wise.
They say he was wise for doing that. Why?
For the Indians of Cuba, having heard of the atrocities in Hispaniola, cast what gold they possessed into rivers and in lakes and prepared to resist the Spaniards.
All praise to the Most High. Read.
They were led by the cacique Atuey, refugees from the Hispaniola.
So he ran from Hispaniola to Cuba and was like, listen, y'all need to get ready. Get ready. Hide everything we got because they coming for gold. They coming to kill. Read.
Who told them that the Spaniard considered Indians inferior to the beast and less worthy of consideration than the animal used to pursue them into the forest.
Less than the dogs. Read.
Consequently, when Velázquez arrived in Cuba, he was unable to extort from extort from the natives the secret of their where they had hidden their treasure.
Read.
In the ensuing periods of the guerrilla warfare, the Indians were defeated and then routed from their retreat from the ferocity mastiff.
Yep, but from the ferocious mastiff, the dogs, read.
Ataway was seized and condemned.
So after that fighting, they used guerrilla warfare during that fight. They used their tactics, and they captured our brother. Read.
At his execution.
So while he's about to be executed,
when asked by a pious friar if he wished to assure himself of passage to a Christian heaven by accepting the purging water of baptism.
Do you want to be baptized in a white Christ?
Ataway asked if there would be Spaniards present.
Will it be Edomites there?
In this remote place.
Uh-huh.
On learning that all good Spaniards go to heaven where they enjoy eternal life in the presence of God, the cacique without hesitation responded that in that case, he did not care to go there.
All praises to the Most High. I don't want to be nowhere where these demons is at. So he understood. Think about that. He understood that back in 1511, I think it says. 1511, he understood that the Christians today, what the hell is wrong with y'all? We don't want to be nowhere with these demons. These Edomites are the devil that the Bible speaks of. I'm going to jump down. It was not an uncommon sight, Lacasas recorded, to see soldiers accompanied by processions of slaves chained together and herded along like hogs to provide food for the hounds. Like hogs to provide food for the hounds. The more humane of the captains, he continued, killed the Indians first, but others simply turned their dogs loose upon the living, terrified and naked victims. There were marketplaces, Lacasas claimed, where quarters of Indians were displayed as if they were hunches of sheep or hog, meaning cattle to be eaten, or food for the dogs. And soldiers could be heard bargaining for the loan of a quarter of an Indian to feed to their dogs until they had their time. Go to the next slide. Look at this. This is the market. This is the market where they would have our people. You see do y'all see the body parts back there? And this was in Guatemala where this happened. Look at that. All that. Go to the next page. And look at that. Our people was hungry, so they had to eat themselves, eat each other, eat body parts. Don't we read that in Deuteronomy 28 as well? We read about that pertaining to Babylon. What about now? They cooking them. Y'all don't understand. They went through the same curses we did. Look at that. Look. Cutting off hands if they don't meet the quota of the gold and the things that they were looking for. And guess what? Leopold II of Belgium did the same thing in the Congo for rubber. Cut off arms, cut off hands, cut off noses. Everybody has done these things to us. All of them. Spaniards cutting off the hands of Indians. Read that.
The book of Daniel, chapter 9 and verse 11.
Read.
Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore, the curse is poured upon us, and the oath that is written in the law of Moses.
So because the Lord says everything that I said was going to happen has happened. Read.
The servant of God, because we have sinned against him.
This happened because we sinned against God. Read.
And he hath confirmed his words.
He confirmed it. Why? It's history now. Read.
Which he spake against us and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil.
Great evil. We're seeing it. Go to the other pictures of the market. Go back to the market. Read.
For under the whole heaven has not been done as has been done upon Jerusalem.
You see that? No other nation can say they went through what they went through. But guess who can say it? Northern Kingdom. So-called, they say, Latinas today. Right? The natives today. That's what they call them today. Guess what? They went through the same thing black people went through, which is Judah. We all went through slavery, atrocities together. No other nation can say they went through what we went through. We are the people of God. It's been another 15 minutes with the captain. A little bit over that. But with that, we say shalom.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is